Hi guys, Jim here. It is Sunday, the 17th of January 2021, and I, as per usual, would like to just do a quick recap of my weekly progress um, in my running journey by taking a look back at my Strava for the week. So, a couple of highlights. Yeah, I'll come back to the specific runs later, but a couple of highlights. So I managed to get my 60Ks done, just about. You can see the connection there. And I'm at 148 for the year, which is ahead of pace. Obviously, very early days for that, but that's good. And one thing I haven't mentioned actually, and maybe for those of you who know Strava well, it won't come as any sort of surprise, but you can sign up to challenges in Strava, which are sort of um, self-inflicted, achievements you can gain from Strava by meeting certain thresholds. So, for instance, if you run a 5K in January, you win the badge. And also, there's a lot of participants, and so the better you do in whichever 5K, your fastest 5K that you run in January will become will put you up on the leaderboard somewhere. So you can compete across all of Strava as well as collecting the badge. So you only need to do the challenge itself to collect the badge, or if you're super keen, you can try and nerdle your way up the leaderboard. I'm interested to see where I am. So I've done a 5K and a 10K this month so far. I haven't run a half marathon just yet, but I will get there. Katia F is apparently leading at the moment with a 10K, which she did in 23:06, which is pretty rapid. Yeah, suspect that was on a bike or in a car or a bit of GPS tomfoolery. But it looks like, okay, so Roberto James, don't know, Texas name. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. But yeah, he got 5K in 2:32 pace. So that is a good 5K. Could well believe that. And then if I can potentially just find myself, I don't know. Yeah, so the people I'm following, a couple of people here, would recommend following I would always recommend following people that you look up to in a running terms. But also, I've obviously got some friends and stuff that I follow as well. So I am 150,000 or fifth out of my lot, 150,000th in all of Strava, which a million participants. Yeah, it's not fantastic, and just under 5 kilometer pace. I did a 6K, which is slightly easier. But anyway, so yeah, just in case you haven't seen these challenges before, they are quite fun, and I always typically just sign up to everything and see what I earn. So then, jumping over to my weekly training log, as I prefer to do. So as I said, it is the 17th of January. So just got back from my long run on Sunday, and I have actually had a rest day. This is my first rest day of 2021. Always important to get rest days. There's no sense in just constantly running all the time. You will burn out or you will get injured. So neither of those are good. So what did I get up to this week? So as I say, I did get my 60K just about, and I don't mind. As I say, look, it looks like my distance is decreasing each week, but to be honest, it's more just making sure I'm consistent and I'm over that 60Ks. It's a bit tough at the moment for me to fit in longer runs around work in the dark and in the cold at the moment, so I can't really do a lot of longer running during the week. So, I've had to try and make up a little bit over the weekend, but just about managed with a rest day. So that's nice. When my treadmill arrives, I'm hoping I can push it a little bit. But yeah, so on Tuesday, I actually did a double run day. So I did an easy 5K in the morning and then and also an easy 7K in the afternoon. So that was good. So 12K for the day there, split in two. So yeah, so I just did an earlier morning one and then topped it up. 6.5K plod. Yeah, was pretty chilling. I'm not going to go into the detail of these runs just yet. I'll have a look at the more interesting ones. But my easy runs are all pretty consistent, frankly. So 5:20 pace there, 6.5K. Slightly less easy 6K. So let's have a bit of a look here. So I wouldn't say that this was any sort of workout or anything, but it's a bit below my easy pace. I thought I'd try and shove a bit. As I say, I normally try and get in a couple of decent sessions. Maybe 2 sessions a week and a long run. So at the moment, I'm not managing that with it being cold and me being a big wuss. So if we just take a quick gander down here, again, typically look at grade adjusted pace just to eliminate this sort of up and down hill sections here. And I'm, 440 is, it's a reasonable bit of effort, ranging up to 452 overall, 447. So not too quick, not too shabby. Heart rate, I have to say, I think the heart rate here was potentially a bit misleading. I think it was just the cold. I noted that up there. So I'm not reading too much into it. I mean, it was also reasonably quick run, right? So less than half an hour. Difficult to read too much into heart rate, and then 173. So as I say, when I'm making slightly more effort in a race, or in a run rather, I will be up nearer 180 steps per minute. So back at the training log. So on Friday, I just did my usual easy 8K, 5:25 pace, chilling on a Friday. Again, about as early as I can get out while it's still light. Or not while it's still light, just as it is becoming light, I suppose I should say. And then on Saturday, I did another 8K, but I did chuck in a couple of strides. So strides, for those who aren't familiar with the term, they are very high intensity, kind of sprints almost, just sprinkled in. Absolute flat out 100% effort, but just really quick. And it's just to kind of get yourself used to your legs turning over a bit. So it hasn't brought the average pace down particularly. We really are only talking, 100 meters kind of hard effort. And you can see, and I chucked it in at the end. Well, apart from the first kilometer, I chucked it right at the end of every kilometer up until, I had a little bit of a harder finish as well. So 6 and a bit bursts of higher pace. So it did bring the pace down. So it was an easy run really, but just with those kind of chucked in for good measure. And you can really see that in the cadence. So these little pickups here, running way above race cadence. Like, as I say, I'm about 180. If I'm trying to do a controlled run, this really is an all-out effort just to get your legs motoring and your heart rate up. And again, you can kind of see it. There are some spikes. They don't really correspond with the actual burst of intensity. But heart rate was a bit higher there. 172 is pretty high for a heart rate. And then finally, back at the log again, my Sunday long run. So as I say, aiming for 60K a week. So I knew I had to do about 19K to hit that 60. I was sort of in the back of my mind, I was thinking of maybe pushing over 20, 21, get a half marathon under my belt. But to be honest, I didn't really enjoy this run. It was just, even from the outset, it was just not very nice. Didn't feel very good. Wasn't particularly cold or anything. Just wasn't really feeling it. It might have been the Domino's pizza that I had over the weekend. So not the best. Grade adjusted pace 5:20. So it is definitely an easy run here. Last week, if you remember my long run, I sprinkled in some harder kilometers. Every third kilometer, I gave it a bit of a shove. This time round, just trying to eke out the distance. Heart rate 163. To be honest, it's because I paused every now and then just to sort of. I've tried out a new route down here, so I did just have to check my phone every now and then, make sure I wasn't getting lost or anything like that. So the heart rate went at 160, still reasonably high for an easy run, and actually that was with a couple of breaks in the middle. And then the cadence of 170 odd is fine. So Strava, don't know what you're doing there. But so pretty consistent, at least in terms of the kilometers. New route, so it's always nice. Some hills, kind of a little bit different in terms of the hill profile there. So always nice to mix it up. Something new, and I have finally managed to find a loop that I enjoy. So this was about an 8K sort of run round, maybe 9K by the time I got back, but actually, and then I just kind of like went out and back as I normally do. So just combined a new loop with my usual easy 8K. And then very last thing of the week, obviously you would normally end with the long run, but I got back from my long run and I thought I'd got the distance right in my head, but I was at 59.9 kilometers for the week. In fact, I must have been very nearly up to 60 because Strava tells you how far you've got left to get to your target, and it actually told me I had to do 0.0 kilometers to get there. So I just decided that I was having none of that. So I wanted to just nip back out and turn around, just to get that extra 0.1 under my belt. So yeah, that's why the very last run. This was an actual real run. This wasn't an accidental, press of the watch or anything. Very deliberate, but yeah, a bit pointless really, just to creep over 60 Ks for the week. And yeah, so that was my week. Really pleased with the consistency. Not great that my long run didn't feel anything like as comfortable as I'd hope it would. My heart rate remains stubbornly high through most of this, and it's still pretty cold. So, I am having to force myself, to just take it super easy, just try and get the miles under the belt. I don't know what next week will look like. It'll be something similar to this. I'm going to obviously try and get 60K and end with the long run. But anyway, so that was my week. Let me know how your guys' weeks were. If you follow anything like this sort of structure in terms of regular training, do you just get out when you can if you fancy it? Don't follow anything at all. Don't believe in a long run. Don't believe in sessions. Would never dream of doing 2 runs on one day. Just let me know. Really curious to see how other people are getting on. Anyway, so that's it. Thank you very much for watching.